Welcome back to Briggs on Books, where we talk to authors from all over the world. Can you believe it? We used to be a regional Central California talk show interviewing authors, but because of COVID and because of Zoom, we had to learn Zoom, and now we get to talk to authors all over the place. Our next guest is an author, but she also helps authors in so many ways. And we want to do more than just talking to authors. We want to help authors get to where they want to be with their book and with their writing. Our guest is Kathleen M. Kline from Dragonfly Editing and Publishing. Welcome, Kathleen.
Hi, good morning, you guys. Afternoon, actually, isn't it?
Yes.
So, yes.
We're both in different parts of California, but is it hot where you are?
No, we actually had thunderstorms and hail last night.
Yeah, that's one thing we don't have in Fresno is rain or hail or thunderstorms. Now, you have so many great ideas for authors, and you've helped so many authors. We've had authors on our show recently who said, "Oh, Kathleen Kline helped me." Tell us about what you do.
So, that's so cool. So what I do is when I'm not writing my own books, I coach other people who want to write, whether it's a publication for their family, just a journal, right? Whether that's that or like the one lady you had on who needed some extra help pulling the good stuff and making sure it's fleshed out so that we see what we want to see or because as readers, there's sometimes we want to go, hey, I want a little more information. So I help people flesh out the ideas that are in their head and put it on the paper and then draw things out and kind of be their accountability partner.
Yeah, I always call the can't see the forest for the trees thing that happens with writers. And man, having a good editor or somebody with some insight to look at your book and really say, maybe change some orders or maybe parts don't make sense at all, whatever. So.
Right, and sometimes we write run-on sentences and we don't mean to because we write like we talk.
Right. That's right.
And when we're looking at our own material, we can't, as you said, see the forest for the trees.
What do you think about the idea of forgetting run-on sentences, forgetting all that, just writing and writing and writing and then straighten it out later?
I totally recommend that. Right. Totally recommend. So a lot of clients, they'll write let's say a chapter, and they'll send it to me, and I give them my color-coded editing system in the body of the chapter. And then I will take time and explain it to them. We'll do a Zoom meeting, if you will,
nice.
Or an in-face meeting, and we will make sure that it's understandable so that their writing gets better and better on their own as they learn as well.
Now, you have some tools to help people or help them get their head in the right place. Tell us about that.
I do. So I noticed that people were having writer's block. So I started a book called When You Only, this one is the Weekly Writing Planner. And inside, it helps you make appointments with yourself. Because, if we make an appointment with you or a lawyer or a doctor, we not only respect it and keep it, but other people respect it and let us keep our appointment.
Yeah.
So if you say to someone, well, I have an appointment with my writing coach, whether I'm showing up with you or not, this planner seems to be helping a lot of people.
Yeah, every author on, or a lot of the authors we have on, I ask them their process. Like, do you sit down every day at a certain time? And some who are very successful say, no, I just do it when I do it. Well, we're not all that person. You'd have to be very special to be that person. I like the idea of setting an appointment with myself.
Well, and it's giving yourself the respect you need.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to tell you, moms, dads, busy people, they'll say, oh, I should do something for somebody else first. No, if you want to write, take and schedule time for it.
Yeah. I do the highest priority thing every moment. Like, oh, I better go water my plants. Oh, I better add to my Walmart list. Or there's always something important to do. But when I make an appointment with someone else, I'm there. That's the most important thing. So I see what you're saying. Make my appointment with myself. And I think once you do that, then the other things can fall around that.
Sure, because then you make time for it.
Right.
Absolutely. And that was what I found was really, really important. And that's why I came out with this book back in October.
By the way, where does somebody get that book?
Well, I do have it on Amazon.
On Amazon, okay. Tell us the name again. I think we have a graphic of it we could put up there.
I do, either way. So there you go. the weekly writing planner.
Okay, very good. Now,
Right.
I want to ask you something. I always tell authors this. I said, congratulations, you finished your book and you got it published. So many people are at a certain point where they're about to finish a book, but hundreds or thousands of words down, and it's just a couple of steps. If they do get to the last word, then there's another giant step after that. Where do they go with the book to get it published? Where do they go to get it edited? Where do they go to get it formatted for publishing?
So what a great question, because listen, Jane Austen used to publish her own stuff. And if Jane Austen can do it, I'm going to help other people do it too. So I took to publishing my own work. I'm an indie publisher, and I help other people publish, right? So that other author that I helped that you had on, now you're going to make me blush. I'm just so honored that she liked my work. I not only helped design her cover the way she wanted it, but I helped her and walked her through all of the publishing steps. So she's her own publisher.
Nice.
She gets her royalty checks straight from Amazon or wherever. But I also edit, which I did her book, and they get to choose, the writer, gets to choose what editing changes they're going to make. Right? That way it still has their voice completely, which is really, really important. And then you can hire someone like myself to coach you through that.
Right.
Or I can audition the book and publish it for you.
Before we came on the air, I mentioned to you, I'm glad you're doing this because I feel a lot of people get taken advantage of, even swindled in this process.
They do, and that's why most of the time I really prefer helping you do it with you.
Right.
If that makes sense. Because I keep my rates really reasonable because I want more people to do this.
Right.
So it's not hard, it's just time consuming and sometimes tedious and frustrating.
Now, what about, I see some people come on the show and they've won this award or that award. And I know there's a lot of these things where people could submit their book for that. Are you able to help them find some of those sources?
Yes, I can. In my 32 years of writing, I've won short story awards and been published and all that. And I've found it more satisfying for me to help you, per se. But if that's what my client needs, that's what I'm going to give them.
I would imagine that if somebody won a short story award, that there's not an organization that's out reading every short story that's been written, but people have to submit their work or have somebody nominate their work or something like that.
They do, and I was able to do it with a story about jumping out of an airplane, and it had a catchy title that resonated with one of the judges, and that made them grab it up. So you have to. If your goal is to see if you can do something at a contest, then that would be something I would also help you find.
Yeah. Well, I read a lot of books, hundreds a year, and I'm every week picking a new book. And if there's a little bump there, a little award or a little notice, or somebody's written a review, also the cover helps me for some reason, helps me pick what I'm going to read next. So
absolutely, and so covers are really important. The cover for my next book is dynamic. It's a memoir, my personal book, and my father actually asked me if that was a picture of me, and he didn't remember it being taken.
Yeah.
It drew him in right away. Well,
I'm just now getting why you call yourself a coach, because you're coaching people through all these little steps.
Yes,
and,
sir.
Writing in the book seems such a giant part of it, but so many authors I talk to, it's the part after the writing that has been a big challenge and a big chore too. So
it is. Since February, I've been teaching a class locally every couple of weeks. During that time, I sat on Zoom with you while another student actually put her book up on Amazon, and she's been selling it, and she's still writing another one.
Yeah.
So I'm coaching her through that, and I've got 3 or 4 people that I'm coaching through that process at this time.
Yeah. Just dawns on me to ask you, I mean, there's some big publishers, Simon & Schuster, things like this. I guess if people think they're going to get their book picked up by a major publisher, I wonder if that's 1 in a million or 1 in 10,000.
It's hard to do, and that's why more independent authors are coming out, because Simon & Schuster's only has this amount of budget. Right? And there's hundreds or thousands and millions of us writers.
Right.
But there's still millions of us who want to read different things.
Yeah.
Right? So that's why I think that more independent publishing companies have come up.
I just feel like if you're going to make it, you better figure out how to do it on your own. So
I agree, and there's nothing wrong with that.
now there's a weekly course or weekly class on Facebook.
Yes, what I do is every Tuesday I post 10 words. I call it my 10-word Tuesday, and I encourage people to go there. It's free. And I put it on Instagram as well, but it's on my Facebook page for Dragonfly Editing and Publishing. And on Tuesdays I post it, and I encourage you to write a poem, a short story, or maybe you're inspired this summer to go week to week to week and put up a storyline, and I give critique back. I
Nice.
freely do that.
Wow, I would love that. By the way, there's a great website on the screen, Dragonfly Editing and Publishing .godaddysites.com. Also, probably a good place to start. Everybody likes Instagram now. The Kathleen Kline, the Kathleen Kline on Instagram. And what else? I want us to just put some of your graphics up. Let's put her logo because I like that. Or it's right on, like right on.
It is. So, yep, my phrase is right on. And I was lucky enough to find someone to make me that beautiful logo. And my dragonfly on the book and in my personal logo or whatever, business logo, it actually has a fountain pen tip on its tail, and it's in the inkwell to encourage everybody to write.
Nice. And we have a picture of the cover of a couple of your books. The other one, the other graphic there. There you go. And I see 3 books leaning against the Right On logo.
Okay, and so then my other book that is up there, the yellow cover, is my collection of short stories.
Great. That's nice.
And that's for whenever you have time for a quickie, volume 1.
There you go. Kathleen, we're out of time. Last thoughts for our viewers?
Hey, visit me, have some fun, ask questions. I put up helpful things on my Facebook page for Dragonfly Editing and Publishing. Why? Because I can, and I want everybody
Nice.
to write
Thank you.
on.
Thank you. By the way, we've had Kathleen on quite a few times. The reason we do is because she knows what she's doing. She helps other authors, and we've had those other authors on the show, too. So thank you for what you do, Kathleen.
Thank you. Good to have you helping other writers and aspiring writers see that they can do this too.
Very good. And we will be back with more Briggs on Books right after this.
Thanks, you guys.